Hello, everyone. My name is Meister.
And I should have made this video sooner, but I am finally making my top 10 figures of 2025 video. I would have done all of them, but I time was running out and I wanted this done before classes start. So here we are. um I mean, okay, Transformers wise, this year was pretty good. Life wise, it sucked ass. um but anyways, uh, before we continue, there will be a list of all the other figures that are not on this list that I got this year. And I just want to set some clear rules real quick. One, this is my opinion. Of course, you have your own rankings, your own figures that you got this year, or you have your own rules of how you want to make your best of 2025 Transformers list. Go right ahead. It's your opinion. Just be respectful about it if you want to put it in the comments below. And the second rule, these are figures that I got in 2025, not the figures that released in 2025, because I don't have all of them. The way behind on that. But without further ado, here is my top 10. Before we continue, I would like to start off with the honorable mention. AS08 Iron General, also known as one of the multiple 86 Optimus Prime knockoffs. Um, this was an interesting choice, to say the least, in terms of like where I'm putting this. Because like it's a great figure. It's pretty much the same as the 86 Optimus mostly. Um, but of course, when it comes to knockoffs, there's typically an issue or issues with it, and I guess specifically with my copy, of course, QC issues, of course. Um, But what brings it down to the honorable mention, which I guess technically this would be 11th place, I guess, is the fact that it arrived broken. One of those, I don't know, what you call it? Would you call it like side piece, rib piece? I don't know what you would call it, but the hinge is broken. Um, so yeah, that's like the QC in that broken hinge is like the reason why it's in the honorable mention. But it's not that I don't recommend it. Like $20, but I'd say probably go for the MD-05 knockoff instead. Because like sure it's more the price is higher, but you get a lot more with it compared to 86 plus. So I don't know. Either way, I'd still recommend AS08 if you just want a cheap option, but unfortunately, he came broken. All right. Coming in number 10, we have Gamer Edition Ironhide. This is probably like the best Ironhide figure I've ever gotten. It just screams Ironhide, bro. Like, not of course Studio Series trying to be as accurate as possible, but just besides of course the articulation's pretty good, QC's pretty good. I also really enjoyed the accessories. Um, And every now and then I still keep going back to the transformation. I really like it. Uh, but to me, this is definitely one of my definitive Ironhide figures. It's also nice because neither that Ironhide or Ratchet ever got a toy, so it's nice that they finally have it now. Have one now. But yeah, just a very fun figure to have, and I'm glad I have it. Next up, in ninth place, we have Scrapper. This is a pretty solid Voyager. Now, he is missing articulation, yes. The waist I understand because you need that fucking you need that space for the ratchet joint because he's a fucking ankle, especially since they're not doing the full on like skeleton structure like they've done with Superion and Minosaur. Um, I mean, I still think he's pretty dynamic. Not as much as some other figures, but he's still pretty dynamic and pretty solid. Also, just that ratchet joint is just one of the few ASMRs I actually like listening to. um, but yeah, just solid. It's pretty solid figure. Nothing's well. The hips are a bit loose, but that's besides the point. Pretty solid nonetheless. Honestly, I didn't expect the aerial bots to be so fucking solid. Like the deluxes, like it's always a hit, miss, or in between. But honestly, like they've all been solid. Of course, I didn't get the last two. Well, not the last two. I didn't get Firefly and Skydive until this year, but uh, the aerial bots honestly surprised me with how solid they are and how dynamic they are. The transformations are so simple but fun. Honestly, I probably couldn't ask for more than that because it's just a fun toy. I just wish that I don't know. I wish that there was a bit more implemented in the articulation, like the next figure, but overall, still pretty good. Of course, just like Air Raid, Slingshot was also a surprise. He was the first aerial bot that I got, and honestly, like I um I prefer Slingshot a bit more over Air Raid, just because I feel like Slingshot is more dynamic in terms of like the articulation. I guess the double elbows help, I guess, but that's also due to transformation. But honestly, it helps, so I can't complain. um, I did customize the head because personally, I don't like the full on orange face. That would include the eyes. So I just decided to customize it, which also just helps shows how much I actually enjoy the figure. So, but overall, again, very solid deluxes, and I couldn't be more happy about it. I finally found another Siege Seeker. um, my first and only ever Siege Seeker was Red Wing. Surprising to be the first one, but still the first one nonetheless. But I found Siege Starscream uh, at a comic store in the downtown area where I live. It was pretty much around the same price as getting him on Amazon at that time, but I just decided to get it now. Well, at that time that I found him, so again, the Siege Seeker mold probably one of the best Seeker molds ever. I don't care what people say. This is like compared to Earthrise, because I had both. The Siege Seeker's just more fun to mess around with and to articulate, and personally more fun to transform. um, I don't know. There's just more enjoyability from the Siege Seeker mold than there ever was with the not Kingdom Earthrise mold, in my opinion. But again, such a great figure with great articulation and a fun transformation. So, of course, I can't say no to that. Age of the Primes or Red Alert. Um, he was actually one of the figures I got for my birthday. Um, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting much. He looked fun, and I already had like a couple of the Legacy Unicron Trilogy figures, so I just thought might as well. I did not expect him to be so fucking good. Like, honestly, with Red Alert and then getting the aerial bots afterwards, it honestly set a new bar for me in terms of like, I guess, excitement and enjoyability, because Red Alert is so fucking solid. Maybe a bit too much in the elbows, but it's tolerable. He has so much articulation. The transformation is fun and simple. And the only tolerance I have is that his heels just keep flopping down. But such a great figure for something I wasn't expecting to be this good. And I'm still waiting to get the fucking flatline uh, version, because the mold is so solid. And honestly, yeah, he deserves top 5 in my opinion in terms of the figures I got. The Fractured Friendship 2-pack. Of course, it's a hit and a miss because the Siege Megatron mold, which honestly is my second time owning the mold. It's fun, but the tolerances show. But uh, I didn't get this online or the San Francisco Comic Con or San Diego. I think it was San Diego actually. Never mind. But I actually got this at a Comic Con that was hosted at in my town, and some guy was actually selling it, and man, I thought the fucking gamer edition mold was good, but this honestly improves. That amount of remolding that they actually did, how the feet they got extensions plus the feet covers, which is a nice touch. It didn't personally bother me in terms of the gamer edition with the hand sticking out, but still a nice touch nonetheless. And of course, with the gamer edition mold, it's still great. It still has great articulation, transformation for me is fun to do. The design is cool despite me not reading the comics, but overall, still a great figure and glad to have it in my collection. Age of the Prime Spinister. Man, I heard and seen how great of a figure the Siege version was, and I guess you could say out of the Siege toy line, Spinister kind of just became a holy grail of mine, and honestly, it's weird to say that I finally found one of my holy grails, but well, on a technicality, of course, but honestly, Spinister is one of my favorite deluxes ever. Of course, great articulation, transformation. Honestly, a bit more intuitive for a deluxe, but I finally got the whole leg situation down, at least. But so much articulation. Uh, the transformation is fun, despite the whole leg thing at first, but and honestly, just a figure as a whole, definitely one of the best figures that I think they've ever made. Well, that Joe Hasbro has ever made. So again, I can technically say I found a holy grail of mine, if even though it's not the actual version. But I just wanted one of the molds between Spinister, whatever the blue one was, and this one, and I'm glad I finally have one now. Onyx Prime was one of my most excited figures of this year. Uh, of course, I'm just excited that we're finally getting toys of the Prime. Finally, that isn't just Optimus Prime or I can't say Sentinel Prime has as many figures as Optimus, but still, like it's just nice to finally get more figures of characters that don't really have as many toys or at all. um, Unfortunately, I still have not gotten to Megatronus, but still. Um, but Onyx Prime is so much fun to mess with. Of course, the three modes, honestly sick. The I don't know dragon mode. I kind of just leave with the four legs instead of the six because the horse legs in that mode kind of get in the way. But man, the fact that we finally got our first Centaur transformer with great articulation, honestly kind of intuitive how the accessory works, how the tail becomes a bow and use the spear as a fucking arrow. Honestly, pretty sick. But of course, that probably is also because I've played Elden Ring Nightrain a lot, and Fulgor, especially Everdark Fulgor, is one of my favorite bosses of the game. But such great articulation and all the modes I rarely like. I just kind of wish he had foot tilts in the main legs, but oh well. Overall, Onyx Prime is a very fantastic figure, and I'm glad that I finally have one. I'm still trying to get the rest of the primes in my collection, but I don't know how long that's going to take. So, Studio Steer, oh, Studio Series Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. Honestly, for those who have been keeping up with my channel, this shouldn't be a surprise, as I've kind of glazed this figure already. Um, but for those who haven't, and a video of me talking about my experience with Transformers or I guess my history / life with Transformers, I did talk about the negativity on this figure and how I didn't agree with it. I guess I should have explained that I had not the original leader class Age of Extinction Optimus, but the one that came afterwards. Plus the Takara one with the more accurate orange sword. Well, not more accurate, but the more accurate sword that was orange, and the more bulbous shield, I guess, with the new arms and the face changing gimmick. So I've handled the mold beef, like at least some of the older leader class figures for that movie, and comparing the two, I honestly enjoyed the series one a lot more. The articulation is great, the accessories are great, the fucking figure looks fantastic. The backpack isn't honestly a bother. I'm sure it's due more to the licensing factor, which honestly I don't see how else they could have done it. And who knows? They may just revisit this in a new mold after the Nemesis Prime version, but honestly, unless if they fucking bump it up to a commander class, I'm not sure how you can get a Knight Optimus from Joe Hasbro without a fucking backpack. So it doesn't bother me. Plus, the transformation is fun and intuitive, in my opinion. In terms of like how like the I guess the main body forms the rest of the truck, I guess. Of course the cab being on the back, but again, I really loved this figure. Even customized the sword and shield a bit, and the figure, but I really don't have anything bad to say about it. Such a great figure. I'm sure the Nemesis Prime is what people were more looking forward to in terms of like the darker gray and shit. Which honestly probably does look better in person more than it does on pictures, but again, you can't trust Joe Hasbro photography, so. But overall, to me, this Optimus Prime is a near perfect figure. I was so excited about it, and I was honestly not disappointed. And that honestly kind of covers everything. Like, I just wanted to get this done before classes start again, and I don't have as much leeway in terms of like finding time for stop motion, which I will still do even with the more busier schedule of my classes. But honestly, 2025 was not a disappointing year. And honestly, 2026, I'm sure is going to be great too. But I hope you all had a great new year. And I really hope that this year is going to turn out better for me than this year was. Because apparently the last year, in terms of like life, just sucked ass. But I hope for a better new year, despite shit already going downhill. If you know, you know. But anyways, hope you all have a great. Well, I hope you all have a great day, everyone.
And it is time to roll out.